If I told you the United States still has a long way to go in advocating for children with learning differences, would you agree? I'm sure many of you would. But the US isn't alone. Learning differences are still misunderstood and stigmatized in many parts of the world. Take Brussels, Belgium, for example. With a population of about 1.2 million people, you might not cross paths with Lisa, an incredible artist, lifestyle, and travel influencer who has dyslexia and dyspraxia. But I had the pleasure of interviewing her about life in Belgium and her experience growing up with learning differences. So you don't have to. According to the Brussels Childbirth Trust, state schools in Brussels are run by either Flemish or French communities, and dyslexia is usually identified between ages 6 and 8, typically when a child begins learning to read and write. Unfortunately, that wasn't Lisa's experience. She always knew she was different. As a child, she had a language delay and struggled to form close connections with her peers. Though verbal communication was tough, she did love working with her hands, and art became her outlet. Through drawing, painting, and coloring, she found a way to express herself and eventually saw her learning differences as a strength rather than a setback. Despite early signs of dyslexia, Lisa remained undiagnosed well into high school. That lack of clarity left her confused and pretty frustrated. To make things worse, some of her teachers, the very people she was supposed to trust, mocked her, leaving her feeling isolated and diminishing her self-esteem. Thankfully, she had a supportive family, and her art carried her through some of her dark moments. Everything changed when she turned 16. One kind, empathetic teacher helped her finally get diagnosed with dyslexia and dyspraxia, a turning point that gave her access to accommodations like extra time on exams and enlarged classroom texts. More importantly, it gave her validation. She began talking openly about her learning differences, found support among her peers, and felt a renewed sense of motivation and purpose. Suddenly, the girl who was once made to feel unworthy was now unstoppable. Lisa continued creating art and began sharing her work on social media to inspire others. Over time, she also developed a passion for photography, fashion, lifestyle, and baking, all creative, hands-on outlets that felt pretty natural to her. Her learning differences weren't just part of her story, they were what led her to discover her true passions. Her message is clear to the world. With grit and determination, anything is possible. She hopes young adults who learn differently see their unique minds as a gift, not a burden. Lisa is especially excited about Super Diva's mission to empower children with learning differences, and says a resource like that would have meant the world to her growing up.